Hello, and thank you for viewing our Events Fundraising webinar series. We're excited that you're interested in learning more about fundraising for Free to Breathe and helping each individual and family impacted by lung cancer. Before we get started on team participation, I just wanted to remind you to view our introduction and thank you message if you haven't done so already. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, I'm going to be talking a little bit about team participation. So if you're someone who's done the event before and you haven't participated on a team, we'll talk a little bit about why that's a good idea. And if you have participated as part of a team, we'll also talk a little bit about what you could do to help grow the event size and help contribute even more to the success of the event series. So let's dig in. Belonging to a team makes participants feel more accountable for their individual fundraising. This is just a fact that we see over and over again with people who are on a team. There are more people who are counting on them. There's a sense of responsibility that you feel when you're doing this as part of a team with other people who are talking to you about what you're doing and how you're doing it. And so we find that people who are on a team, they tend to be more successful with their fundraising. A team participant with support from a team captain is more likely to show up on event day. Again, you have this added benefit of having someone who's checking in on you, who's asking how your event preparation is going. You have someone who's providing you with the information to ensure that you are where you're supposed to be and when you're supposed to be there. So this is something that we see time and time again with our team participants as well. It's not to say that if you're not on a team that you're doomed. That's not the case at all. It's just that there's an added benefit of having more people who are looking out for you, and this is one of them, that you're going to show up on event day. You also have the opportunity, as I was mentioning earlier, you can lean on each other to lead, to motivate, and inspire your team to fundraise and show up on event day. I participate in the spin class, and one of the things that my spin instructor says is that you never know who you're inspiring just by showing up. And I think of this so much in the context of being on a team as well. You just never know who it is that you're impacting, who you're inspiring, who you're motivating. There's so many things that we do day in and day out that seem so routine to us, but that really inspire other people to show up and to do more than they thought was possible as well. The same thing is true when you're on a team. You have that ability to really impact someone's experience in doing the event. You may be wondering, well, how can I help? Again, if you're someone who's already done the event before, if you're on a team or not on a team, here's some things that you can do. If you aren't on a team already, create your own team. There's so much fun that can be had as part of a team. There's so much more that you can have as part of your experience, learning more about people and getting inspired by their reasons for participating. So if you're joining as an individual, if you're already registered as an individual, create your own team. There's a magic in being united with people who are like-minded and fired up about making a difference. You know, when we had connected with some of our other staff about what's their favorite thing about being on a team, this is one of the things that they had said. And I love it. There's so much, there's magic, fired up, making a difference. These are all things that you really get to experience on a much different level when you're with more people. Being on a team makes the reality of impactful fundraising events possible by including friends, family, coworkers, and your community. So there's really an opportunity that you have to be able to kind of really expand what you're doing, to really think outside the box, to kind of go bigger, and that's all because you have more people who you're drawing from to support you and more people who are helping to put these kinds of events on. Your team is a great place to give and receive fundraising and training advice. In fact, fundraising events are easier with a team in your corner. Again, you have more people to draw from. You have more people who can give their brain power, who can give their time, who can give their resources, who can tap into their networks. So one of the things that I love is that, you know, we all have different ways of fundraising that are easy and comfortable for us. And when you tap into what that is for each individual, you get so much more knowledge and information that you can pull from. If you're wondering who can you ask for to be part of your team, here's just a few examples. Family, friends, coworkers, acquaintances. Maybe you did the event before and you talked with someone on event last year. Maybe they're not part of a team. Those are people who you can draw from. But really a lot to do with fundraising and growing the size of your event is really just based on the limits that we place with ourselves and our own imagination. So here are some people who you can reach out to. My challenge for each of you is to ask at least one more person to join you on events this year. Show and tell them how easy fundraising can be and how much fun you have as part of this event. We know that it can be such a moving and meaningful experience, and we want you to share that with other people. So your challenge as we get off of this little session is to make sure that you reach out to one more person and ask them to join you on an event this year. I've mentioned before that I think we all share in the responsibility of growing the size of the event and making sure that it's successful. So I hope you each decide to take action with this. I also wanted to pause for a second and just remind everyone and just put out there that we couldn't be as successful without our team captains. There's so much support that we get from our team captains and so much work that they're doing behind the scenes to help make sure that not only are they successful, but their team is successful as well. So first and foremost, I really want to say thank you. If you're a team captain, thank you so much. We want to recognize the extra work that you do. We know that there's additional responsibilities that you take on, and there's just a different experience for you as being a team captain. We certainly hope that it's a rewarding one, and we've surely heard from people that it absolutely is. But we want to say thank you so much for what you're doing. You help make this event so much more successful, and you help contribute to the overall growth of this organization. So thank you very much. What are some things that you can do? Communicate openly. Make sure that you share information with your team when there's information to share. You need to encourage someone when you need to push them along, when you need to ask them questions. Just make sure that you're keeping the lines of communication open. Ask your teammates to fundraise. We talk a lot about the golden rule of fundraising, which is very simple. It's to ask. And as a team captain, you play such an important part in having communication with the people who sometimes we don't speak with at all. Because of your role as a team captain, you have access to everyone on your team and to really encourage them. So we would ask for you to please make sure that you're opening up the communication about fundraising and encourage everyone on your team to fundraise. Set a good example by getting your own fundraising underway. It's so important to make sure that the people who you're working with recognize and understand that they're not doing anything that you haven't done already. And it's so much more powerful to come from a place of being able to tell someone that you're doing what you're asking them to do, something that you've already done yourself. We've always found in the event fundraising space that it's just an easier way to approach a conversation. To be able to say that I've been where you're going is a really powerful way to encourage and motivate someone to get started themselves. And then check in on your team's progress. It's not enough to just keep the lines of communication going, but to really ask those questions and to say to someone, how is your training going? What's the farthest distance that you've run or walked? For this event, with a 5K, some people may not need to train, and that's fine, but some people may be starting from nothing. And most importantly, ask people how their fundraising is doing. Ask if they've set up their fundraising success center, which you can see yourself by checking that out. But opening up the communication and asking those questions, it helps them see that they are accountable to that. To the point that I shared at the very beginning, of people feeling more accountable for their individual fundraising, it's because someone like you checks in on their progress. And then make it fun. What's great about being on a team is that it is naturally fun. When you get a group of people together, as I had mentioned earlier, there's some magic that comes with that kind of an experience. But are there things that you can do to make it fun for your team to make sure that they keep coming back year after year? And here are just a couple of points as far as team fundraising advice goes. Set your goal higher than where you or your team finished last year. This is something that we encourage with individual fundraising as well. It's so important to keep stretching yourself and to try and reach beyond where you've ended in the past. So set your goal higher than where you guys finished last year. And then aim to recruit more participants to be on your team. What helps us be more and more successful each year is by making sure that more people participate in this event. So see what you can do to try to recruit more participants to be on your team. My question that I leave you with is, what does taking your team participation to the next level look like? I think this is a conversation that you can really open up to the rest of your team, but I think as a team captain, it's a really great point for you to consider as well. Here are some specific team fundraising ideas. Organize a team yard sale. By having more people on your team, you have more stuff in which you can acquire, and you have more people in which you can impact. Execute a social media challenge. I put on there Team Tuesday. So every Tuesday, are you putting out the challenge to your team to try and get more people to join the team on Team Tuesday? Or is it that you're asking people to give $20 to donate on Team Tuesday? Again, everything comes down to your imagination and apparently in my case, alliteration. Create a fundraising event and set the expectation that it will happen every year. What I really like about this is what we hear time and time again from people who have participated in an event over and over again is that they feel like people are tired of them asking for donations. What I like about creating a fundraising event and setting the expectation that it will happen every year is that you're able to say to people, I'm doing this event again, and I would like for you to come. And at the end of the year, you can also say, I can't wait to talk with you about the events next year. So just planting those little seeds makes it easier for you to reopen these conversations with your potential donors. And then host a silent auction. This provides you and your teammates with an opportunity to get items donated throughout your community and then to be able to auction them off. We've had people who have done this in the past, and they've been really, really successful with raising anywhere from $500 to $5,000 or more in a single event. So see what you can do, and it's a great way to involve your team and to involve your community as well. I want to just say thank you. Whether you're thinking about being on a team or whether you're on a team, thank you for your participation. We hope that it's certainly a fun experience for you as well. And again, thank you for your time and for all of the energy that you'll be putting into fundraising for Free to Breathe. And thank you for helping to turn the vision of doubling lung cancer survival into a reality.